Hi, it's Micky Dolenz here. You're listening to Inspirado Projecto.
The time is now 1:59 p.m. I just woke up, about 1:25 p.m. I can't believe I slept that late. Today is the 12th, May 12th. I just got this message in the Yachtly Crew thing here. LA County stay-at-home order likely to be extended through July to fight coronavirus. So that means no Yachtly Crew shows till July or August maybe. At least here in California. I don't know if that means I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. If the whole country's on lockdown, unless this virus is completely, we end up learning that it's no longer a threat or no longer an issue to everybody, as soon as we learn that, then we know for sure we can open up stuff. But why chance it? Why open stuff? I mean, if you know that it's still there and it's still contagious, how do you know? How do you know if it's actually truly okay to keep something open? You don't know who might have the virus. You don't know who's gonna, unless they got coronavirus testing kits at each of these locations. I mean, if it's true that our show in Chicago is, I don't know if that's canceled or not. If it's not canceled, it makes me wonder, how is it possible that we'd be able to go through with the show like that? If it's not canceled, how is that an ability? How does that mean? I mean, okay, they'll say, okay, we're not closed. You guys can play here. Okay, so technically we can hear that, you go, oh, okay, cool, I can play there. But if the coronavirus is not gone, then, I mean, it's so funny. It's like, I feel like I'm saying stuff out loud to myself that's just completely obvious. That's like, like completely obvious stuff, and yet there are those who are, by their actions, are contradicting. Oh God, it's a mind bender, isn't it? I think we're all here. We're all in the same boat. We're all in the same boat. How is it possible for one side of the country to say, all right, cases have slowed, now it's time to open up? Well, slowed does not mean gone. Just because people are impatient does not mean that things automatically should just open up again. Man, what a mind bender, huh? So I realize it's taking me a little bit of time in between podcasts to put these things out. I know you're all clamoring for them. I know you're all clamoring, right, to hear my opinion. Remember, folks, this podcast is, yes, it is for you. It is for the minds that are tuned into this kind of thing. And then first and foremost, since the beginning, the mission is having an archive. So this is an archive for my future self. When he goes back and he listens to this, he can listen to his confusions and frustrations and, just trying to make sense of the whole situation. I would think that a lot of the stuff that I'm saying is echoing with the thoughts and ideas and minds of everyone else. I mean, since we are actually all in the same position now, And we all hear, various news giblets emerging through various factions. We all got questions. We're all curious. Who's got the answers? Who's got the answers? Anyway, I got to go into the store. Got to get some more cat food. Talk to you later. The time's now 9:13 a.m. It's now 5:16. Holy moly, today's May 16th. Today's the day that Andy Kaufman faked his death. Oh my God, today's May 16th. Wow, I gotta do something. I gotta do something in honor of Andy Kaufman. Oh God. Jeez, I gotta do something in honor of Andy Kaufman. Holy moly, May 16th. Wow. Wow. May 16th. Wow, man. Oh, wow. Can't believe it. May 16th. May 16th. What is Andy Kaufman doing during the quarantine, I wonder? What's Andy Kaufman doing? Wow. I just talked to Gentle Waves, a.k.a. Jennifer Taliafro, on Facebook. She just listened to the last podcast, so if you're listening to this, hello, Jennifer. Thank you for tuning in to the Yachtly Crew live stream sessions. By the way, you guys, May 30th, Yachtly Crew is going to be playing a live stream event. Tickets are $10. We'll be playing from the Whiskey A Go-Go, where the Doors used to play, where Motley Crue used to play, where Van Halen used to play, where all these astounding bands that we've known about and loved, that we've cherished through the years, we are going to play on that same stage. So during this quarantine, we're finding ways of getting out to you, getting out to the populace. We just also shot a music video. Billy Joel's "I Love You Just the Way You Are." That's on YouTube, which you can check out. I had such doubts about that one. I showed up. My part was shot out in front of Amoeba Records, which many of you who love Amoeba Records, you know that it's going to... they're going to move locations. A lot of people are distraught about this. It's like a mecca for art lovers. Music, movies, TV shows, VHS, Blu-ray, DVD. Remember those were really stretching back in the past now. DVD, whoa, that is ancient. Posters, they got all kinds of cool stuff. Collector items, cassette tapes even. I remember I sold a whole bunch of old cassette tapes when I was moving. I went in there with all these cassette tapes. I think they gave me $1 a cassette tape. That was awesome. So we shot my footage out in front of there. I took my Uber right up there, and I wore my mask that Kathleen Kincaid, a.k.a. Baby Bowie's mom, she made some for us. And so I wore my mask up there in the car, and I got to set expecting that we're all going to be shooting with these masks on our faces. I thought, oh my God, that'd be hilarious if this music video just featured our faces in the masks. I knew that we had plenty of other videos showing our faces in them. So, if anyone was distraught about watching it, they could just go, oh, well, I already know what their face looks like. It's kind of funny that they're choosing not to show their faces in the music video. I figured, well, we sold out of face masks. People have the face masks. Why not put the face masks in there? It could be a good one, just for marketing the face masks in the merch shop alone. That just in itself would have been a fun commercial. But then in addition to that, shows that we're all in it together. we're all in it together with everyone at home. You know, everyone's going out there wearing their face masks. So, but we didn't shoot. We shot with no face masks. We didn't shoot with any face masks, and I felt really. I was conflicted about that decision. We're getting really great responses. KUSI in San Diego, they played the video on their news. They like to call us their house band, which I think is so much fun. They played us on the news yesterday, I think it was. So we're getting great responses, and it's just like I'm conflicted. Anybody loves praise. You love praise for something you work on. However, what if you're getting praise for something that there are artistic differences all over the place, all the time. I've learned that with my own projects that I'm spearheading, I can go wild with it. I can really just go wild with it. And then other projects you have, you might just have just a couple of people at the top who are kind of in charge of, they make the decisions. So that's why I'm so excited to have WISEFINGER LAB. I can't remember if I talked about it in the last podcast or not, but WISEFINGER LAB is my new obsession. I've been drawing like crazy. I'm working on a new one. I'm always working on a new one. Here's a secret. I don't know if I said this yet, but the WISEFINGER mascot, WISEFINGER himself, the whole premise is that we are in service to WISEFINGER. Samantha Light and myself. My art name is CEC. Sometimes I go by Kurt Eric Clendenin. Other times I'm known as Stony Shores. And in lots of other circles, I have lots of other names. WISEFINGER, the premise is that we are in service to this creature. It tells us what to do. It tells us where to go. And I've been illustrating Samantha Light's poetry. If you visit avoiceinmyhead.com and you go to her poems, you click words on the page. First you go to avoiceinmyhead.com. You see the words, it says words, click on it. It'll give you some options. You go into poems, poetry. And you'll see, I think I got 4 or 5. Yeah, I think I got 4 or 5 in there now. Now, of course, I probably repeated this in the last segment. I can't remember. That segment was shot yesterday. Can't believe already it's been 4 days since the last podcast episode. Oh, my God. This just goes to show you that when, because usually when I first got the podcast, I was podcasting every day. But I suppose when you're in the midst of working on something, doing something, I could podcast. I suppose I could podcast while I'm doing WISEFINGER stuff. We'll see. We'll see what happens. I'm working on doing what we like to do at the WISEFINGER store. If you go to wisefingerlab.threadless.com, that's where we've been putting up my designs and Samantha's photography onto all kinds of things. I'm mystified to see what she's doing. She's really digging in there. She's getting a great handle on the templates. Great handle on those templates. She is just, man, doing so well with the templates. Duvets? I didn't even know what a duvet was. A duvet is a fancy word for like a bedspread. We have my art on bedspreads. We've got her photography on bedspreads. Bags. Shower curtains. Blankets. I mean, it's just rugs. Rugs! I couldn't believe it. I was looking in there and I'm like, what? Man, that's a huge rug. I could only imagine how crazy that would be to have that rug in my house. Tapestries. So much fun. We've already had 3 sales. There's a funny one called The Bills, which is like this little kid. He's like, what does he say? I think he says, I pay the bills, you pay the bills. Nobody gets away from paying the bills. I think that's what he says. He's just like this, cynical little kid. It's funny because little kids shouldn't be worrying about that stuff, right? But this kid, he's probably like 10 years old. 9 or 10 years old, he's saying this. Just because he probably heard his parents saying it. But it's funny because 2 of them were sold yesterday, an extra, like a small, extra small shirt, and then a medium shirt. So that's a father and son right there. That just, it just tickles me to think that a father and a son got that shirt. And then there's another shirt that we made, Dr. Wisefinger. It says, Dr. Wisefinger says, fuck coronavirus. And then his belt says, we will prevail. I'm wondering. Samantha's a little edgier than me. I'm more of a family friendly guy. So I kind of have a Wisefinger is my opportunity to get more into that kind of expression, I suppose. To me, I view it like it's like Mad Magazine. So anyway, so the new Wisefinger, he's dressed up. We're gonna dress him up for holidays. He's like our Alfred E. Newman. I'm gonna treat Wisefinger Lab as if it were like Mad Magazine or National Lampoon, that kind of vibe. But instead of a magazine, it's a clothing, product design company. We have an Instagram. You can visit our Instagram, WISEFINGER LAB. We have Facebook. You can find us at a WiseFinger on Facebook. It's interesting when you start with projects, you start to evolve into what the concept is. You start to evolve into what the concept was. When Samantha and I first started, the first T-shirt, she's like, Kurt, I can imagine you drawing this big middle finger. Big middle finger, just Google me. It says cecartist.com on it. I thought, and then that's where I think I talked about Wisefinger was born. He looks like the eagle. He could be an eagle. But secretly it's an owl. But he could be an eagle, sure. He could be any bird that he looks like. So we dressed him up like a doctor. We're gonna dress him up for the various holidays that come up. It's gonna be fun. He's gonna be our Alfred E. Newman. God, it's so much fun. So it's what's so great is that it's just the same picture and I just draw over it. I just add a new thing to it. It's so much fun, man. So much fun. So the one that we did with the doctor, you gotta look at it. I want to explain all the little giblets in there, but there's some Easter eggs on it. That's in the store. Someone bought that. That was great. The fuck coronavirus, we will prevail shirt. It's so fun. It's so crazy to see my art on skateboards. God, I probably said this before, but it needs to be repeated. For the longest time, I had sent my designs off to t-shirt companies, hoping that maybe they'd want to put my design on them. I sent off my design to skateboard companies in hopes that they'd want to put my design on them. And it's so crazy to now, to have that ability to be able to go, bzzz, bzzz. It's funny because it's all online, but you can make it look like you got a warehouse filled with these items. I love the fact that they got these pictures and like you just do what you got to do through the template, and then it fits it onto the picture up there. So you see what it looks like for someone to be holding what your product is. You see what it looks like for it to be on a skateboard. Samantha accidentally made something yesterday, and she said, "Oh, that's a mistake." And I thought, "Oh, that's genius." That mistake, one person's mistake is another person's genius. Isn't that funny when you think about that? Just that, like that one man. Me and Jason Carr would joke about this. One man's trash is another man's fortune. One man's trash is another man's fortune. So her mistake was she accidentally put a photo. She took a screenshot of one of our items on a duffel bag, and she accidentally put that image onto the side of a notebook, onto the front of a notebook. And I thought, oh my God, that's ingenious. What company? I've never seen a company out there put pictures of their products on other products. That's so funny. It's so funny. It would be such a funny, like, ridiculous, egotistical kind of thing. It'd be like Calvin Klein putting a billboard, Calvin Klein billboard on one of their t-shirts. Like an underwear billboard on a t-shirt. I've never seen that before. Ever. Never. Check out some of these crazy designs. WISEFINGERLAB.threadless.com. Check out some of those crazy designs that Samantha. So some of the poems that I've been illustrating for Samantha, those designs have been taken. Some of them have been taken into, she's taken them into the templates and putting those out there. So you get a chance to see. God, I gotta say, it looks really cool. That's the other thing too. I've always wanted, I frequently thought, wow, I want to be like the Shel Silverstein, the Lewis Carroll, the Dr. Seuss. Because those guys had adult themes. They did their own adult sort of themed art. Like Shel Silverstein had a whole bunch of songs that were just rowdy and just crazy stuff. Meanwhile, he's writing these kids' books. But that was the cool thing. They were contemplative. These kids' books. They were things that kids could think about. Obviously. However, the main thing was who's reading it to the kids. It's adults. So the adults are getting blasted with this information. They're getting reminded of these concepts, of these important concepts. They're getting reminded of these important concepts while they are reading them to their children. And then their children learn them. How cool is that? How cool is that? And then that little kid who was read that Shel Silverstein poem when they were little, they get older and they're like, I used to like Shel Silverstein when I was little. Let me read it. Whoa, that's what my dad was reading to me. That's a heavy concept. That's an amazing concept. I think it's possible to have heavy conversations with kids. Like, well, first of all, I wouldn't want to get kids caught up in like politics, or the news for that matter. However, concepts about like the giving tree, for instance, the giving tree. That book taught you to empathize with nature. It taught you to empathize with look at this. This is not just a take situation out here in life. It's a give and take situation. It's a built-in cooperation. There's so much built-in cooperation from the ground up going on in this world. Everything is just intrinsically built on cooperation. I've said it before, and I gotta say it again. Without these trees, we wouldn't be breathing. Without us, these trees wouldn't be breathing. They need us. We need them. Look at that. And that is just something that's just going on. They're not asking us to breathe. We're not expecting them to give us the oxygen. We're not expecting that. I mean, something just popped in my head. Okay, so let's say, for instance, the moon. Let's say we find out there's carbon dioxide up there. Couldn't you plant a tree and then the tree would create the oxygen? Couldn't you plant a tree up there? Or some other sort of, like a succulent? I guess they need water, huh? What if you built some sort of moon reservoir? I mean, have they tried taking water up to the moon? Making a pool? Wouldn't it be interesting? They make a big pool, reservoir of water, flying to the moon. Big reservoir of water, big old reservoir of water, getting up there, putting the water into reservoir. And then that reservoir sort of is like an irrigation system. It just slowly feeds. You plant some trees up there, and then it slowly just feeds those trees. So over the course of time, it's maybe it's like a sprinkler. Yeah. Well, the water, would that float up? It'd be really interesting to see. Really interesting to see, because then you get oxygen up there. So anyway, the cooperation that's going on. I remember one time my buddy Jeremy telling me, my cats were, my buddy Jeremy's an atheist. I just had to throw that in there, because he's looking at things from a different perspective. He's definitely not. He rolls his eyes basically when he puts up with me. He puts up with me when I talk cosmic talk. And so he's breaking things down. Like, he's not looking at dreams like prophecies, or intuition or anything like that. He breaks it down. He's like, well, that's just a chemical reaction. Your brain is just telling patterns. When you have deja vu, that's just your brain misfiring. All those kinds of things. All those kinds of scientific excuses that, are just as true as anything else. That's the scientific explanation. See, it doesn't mean that they can't coexist. So let's say you have some scientific explanation for deja vu. Scientific explanation. Well, let's break down who is making up that explanation. Scientists. Who are scientists? Limited-minded humans. Limited-minded humans. Coming up with fancy terminology, using fancy technology to come up with this, to describe, to come up with a name to describe the behavior of phenomenon, the invisible phenomenon that occurs. They're trying their best to describe and to get a handle on how our relationship works with them. So those are like, just because we named Pluto, that doesn't mean that it's Pluto. Pluto is what it is. It's just what it is. Like that old phrase goes, it is what it is. It's just, it is what it is. It's not dependent upon our belief system of it. we can come up with, billions and billions of light years away and just somehow be okay with that. Billions of light years away. Oh, okay. 1 billion is a huge number. But then you're going to say 7 billions of a light year, which is X amount of, information. And you're telling me that this star is that billions of light years away. It's when you really break it down, we're just a bunch of Neanderthals trying to make sense of what's going on in the world. That's what it is. That's what it is. So anyway, so you could come up. So you got all these clever explanations for deja vu, these explanations. But yes, it's that because you named it as such, and it's also a whole lot of other stuff in addition to that. If you try to describe the Tao, then you will never describe the Tao. The Tao is everything except what you're trying to describe. It's like that type of thing. So I remember him explaining to me one time about the cats. My cat was like rubbing its head up against my leg, rubbing its head on the furniture. And I remember him going, "Oh, look at that. It's just, he's so cute. He's just getting his scent all over. He's getting his scent all over you. Oh, he's getting his scent all over all over the couch." I thought, wow, that's interesting. That's interesting. So the simple explanation is, oh, okay, that's just how animals act. They're just getting their scent on things. Okay, so yes. Now, depending on the cat, knowing or not knowing what it's actually doing, like let's subtract that from the equation. We don't know if the cat is doing that or not doing that. What's the main thing is, what's interesting is the way that the cooperation works of the universe. That cat, if that cat didn't have that instinct within it to go up and quote put its scent on things, it would never know the pleasure that can come from scratching its chin on a tree. Or let's say when a cat comes up and wants you to scratch under its chin, is it merely just trying to put its scent on you, or did it find out that it felt good? See, that's an extra layer that the universe put into the cooperation aspect. Isn't that cool? It's like you got a cat. So imagine like way back in the day before people became friends with cats and have them as their little animals. So there are just cats that are just out there. There's just humans out there. And then somehow a cat becomes friendly with the human. And then guess what? They end up finding out that the cat finds out that the human can now pet it in all these places that it never even thought about petting itself. Oh yeah, scratch that back of mine. Oh yeah, scratch my belly. Scratch behind my ear, why don't you? That's so interesting. And that was just built in. Universe built that in. So interesting. And then there's that idea of like appreciating, getting some sort of appreciation or affirmation from folks when we accomplish something that we set our mind out to do. There's that good vibe that comes from that. Is that something that we are taught? That we are taught to look for that? Because what's interesting, the interesting gift about that is that drives people forward into creating more stuff. If there wasn't that victory, that what feels so good, people clapping, people complimenting you, great job, patting you on the back, all that jazz, all that razzmatazz. If that didn't exist, would we still be moving forward? Would we still have a purpose? A lot of folks, a lot of times we hear about this. Folks just need a purpose in life. People just need a purpose in life. What happens? What are the benefits of a purpose? Like right now with this WISEFINGER stuff, there's this. My goal is to draw the pages that Samantha wants me to draw. And as a result of simply playing along in this fashion, having fun, somehow we have 3 t-shirt sales. How crazy is it? 3 t-shirt sales from us doing what we love doing, of having fun. That's an indicator from the universe that, look, you're going in the right direction there. So purpose, I would say that it's not about the competitive aspect. It's about, purpose. I suppose one could have purpose in beating the other team. My purpose is to beat that other team, to be the best team. Okay, so now what? You win the Super Bowl. You now get a Super Bowl ring. Your team gets a trophy. And then what? And what's next? What's next? Do you get a raise? Then what? You get a raise. Then what? There could be the purpose of just having a vision and just getting a kick out of seeing your imagination come to life. God. Letting it be what it wants to be. I'm in service to this project. Samantha's in service to this project. There's a purpose. There's a cooperation going on. Cooperation. It's been said that we wouldn't be inspired to do something. We wouldn't have the inspiration unless there was already the built-in, there wouldn't be the inspiration to transmit something if there wasn't already the built-in receiver to that transmission. I find a lot of times that the journey, the journey, the process, the actual just stretching a conversation for the sake of stretching it for imagination purposes, brainstorming purposes, is very enjoyable. Sometimes I prefer the conversations where I never get around to making the point. Other times I feel frustrated when I can't make my point. And then you wonder, well, what's the point in making a point? Is it a lot of times just confirm to myself what I know to be true? Or is the point to let someone else know that I am right, that my... And then what's that? Right, that idea of being right. I know there's a thrill in figuring out the mystery before like you're watching Columbo or something, you go, ooh, I have a feeling Ice Cream Man is the guy. I think he's the one who murdered the wife. I think he's the one. And then you got that inkling, and then at the end of the, and then Columbo unmasks the bad guy and it's the Ice Cream Man. And there's a thrill in predicting that, which to me tells me that there's an intrinsic desire to connect with the supernatural, with the unknown, with the occult, with the mystical. There's an intrinsic thing about that. Otherwise, people wouldn't gamble. People wouldn't bet on stuff. There's that, that thrill of the possibility of losing, or even in some cases of dying, depending on what kind of extreme sport you're doing, I suppose. There's that thrill of getting it in there, like in Star Wars, where Luke Skywalker is supposed to shoot, what is it, like a 6-foot wide hole or something? Maybe smaller than that. And he's supposed to shoot it right in there, and it gets into the Death Star. There's a thrill in being able to get it. Getting the ball in the hoop, so to speak. There's a thrill. So there's that excitement, that intrinsic excitement of guessing something, of going, I got a hunch. And then that hunch turning out right. One thing I haven't brought up, by the way, if you have any soundscapes, it could be the sound of you watering your plants. It could be the sound of your birds chirping outside. It could be the sound of your children eating potato chips. It could be the sound of grandpa jumping on a trampoline. It could be anything. Send me like 3 minutes of it. Every single one of you lives in a very, you live in a very interesting environment, an environment that I don't live in. So the sounds that you hear here are going to be very particular to this environment. The sounds that you have there are particular to your area. Share them with me. Send them into inspiratoprojecto@gmail.com. I'll upload them here. I'll play them on here. Send me your... and I'll play a couple of ones that people sent in. I'll play a couple right after this. You could also... Oh, yeah, call the number. Call the number. This is the Inspirado hotline. 561-203-9179. And participate. Participate in the madness. Participate in the madness. I'd love to share you on here. Thank you so much for listening.
Hey, Chad here from the Concave Hardcore Skating Podcast. I just want to thank you again for making that theme song for us. We'll definitely be using that on a future episode. I really appreciate it. It was so cool of you. Oh, hey, dude, who are you? You can't just walk in here and grip on my junk, dude. Hey, it's okay. I'm with the TSA. Yeah, man. Don't sweat it, buddy. I'm with the TSA. You're with the TSA? Yeah, man. Yeah, I'm with the TSA. Don't sweat it, man. Let's do this thing. Yeah. Whoa. Sorry, dude. I didn't know it was official business. Go for it. All right, man. That's the way to be. Yeah, TSA all the way. Yeah.
This is one more time with Gary Busey. We got hung up on. I don't know what happened there. I just want to say the Inspirado Projecto is what you're listening to, and it's absolutely fantastic. What I say is Buddy Holly 2. All right, think about it. The Buddy Holly story, part 2. He stood up right at the plane crash, but he lives. He lives. Buddy Holly lives. And he ends up singing karaoke. Singing a little karaoke with the Holly crew. That's what happens. What do you think of that? What do you think? What do you think of that? Call Mel Gibson. All right. I'm Gary Busey, Inspirado Projecto. Gary Busey. I gotta go fight the resistance. I gotta go fight the resistance to cocaine. Don't do it. Gary Busey.
What is your favorite pandemic movie, such as Outbreak, Virus, Pandemic? The list go on and on. You check out a list of the pandemic movies on IMDb. Inspirado Projecto, what are your favorite pandemic movies? And how are you dealing with COVID-19? Stay safe. Love, man.
That was fun and unexpected. Thank you so much, Gary Busey, for calling in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you also, Forgotten Tales, with your TSA announcement. As we all know, TSA are, as far as I know, besides the cops, the only ones really allowed to touch you inappropriately and steal your stuff from you. Right out in the front of the eyes of everybody. As for Man Behind the Machine, as far as I know, I have never seen a virus type movie, a quarantine type movie. I guess, you know what, I take that back. I saw the movie Annihilation, and they quarantine off an area in there. But I haven't seen any quarantine movies during this time. I lied. Okay, partially lied. It's not a movie, but it's a TV show, The Last Man on Earth. I totally forgot I was watching that. I just finished it. It's like 4 seasons. Is it 4 seasons? And so I blasted through that. I saw that. Just a great show. That takes place in the year believe it or not, in the year 2020, 1 year after the virus. They never say what the virus is. But that was really cool. So I'd say that's my favorite, if that answers your question. Thank you guys so much for calling in. And I would love any of you who are listening to call in 561-203-9179. Leave a message on there. If you're on Anchor, if you have the app, you can leave me a message through there as well. You just go to search for my page, Inspirado Projecto, and then it'll show right there at the top. You'd leave a message. You tap it, and then you leave a message. You can also email me and leave me your music. You could leave me audio. Leave me audio. I'd say up to 3 or 4 minutes sounds good, and I'll include it right here on the show. Okay, folks, till next time, stay safe, stay inspired. Oh, and 2 things, if I didn't mention it. Yachtly Crew is going to be playing the Whiskey on the 30th. It's a live stream. You can get tickets online. And also, please check out the WISEFINGER store. Check out the store. Samantha, we spent all day. She spent so much time figuring out those templates, getting my art and her photography onto these kick-ass products. Notebooks, phone cases, skateboards, duvets, bath mats, blankets, all kinds of crazy stuff. Tapestries, prints, all kinds of cool stuff. Coffee cups, lattes, cups, all kinds of crazy stuff. She's making it. We're making it. So check out WiseFingerLab.threadless.com. Check it out. There's so much fun stuff in there. She's really good at making shoes too. Really good at designing shoes and backpacks and duffel bags. She's great at all of it. Just check it out. Let me know what you think. Okay, thank you, folks. Thank you so much. Take care. Stay inspired.